Okay, so here we are again in another video, and well, today is Sunday, but as you know, usually Fridays and Saturdays I'm not like doing a lot of things with trading. I try to relax and disconnect. Well, Friday yes, but when I finish my job, I don't come here and do the video and everything because I'm tired and I want to be with my friends or my girlfriend or whatever. Okay, so today we're gonna start with the EU. Sorry, with the XY. As I think that understanding the XY, I can understand the pairs, the other pairs. Okay, so more or less I have some kind of a bias. I thought about it a few times, but I never studied, and now I'm gonna try to do it. Okay, and look at it. So first of all, um, I saw this kind of reactions here with this travel liquidity on H1, so I expected this to be taken, and well, seeing everything, I expected a continuation to the upside. Uh, 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 um, yeah, it took this travel liquidity here, okay, these days. So yeah, I expected like going to the upside and probably breaking this previous weekly low. Which it was here, but usually, as you can see, it reacts as liquidity. Okay, so let's see on M5. On M5, we took this round with H1, as I said, but I like it for buys. After taking this round with M5 and seeing the other pairs, I thought EU was for sells more or less, and these were for buys. So having that and seeing that here we had a lot of liquidity, so I expected a continuation. I look for buys for the USD pairs and sells GU and EU. Okay, and well, in the afternoon we had some kind of movement to go to the downside. So EU, okay. I did look to the left, okay, but as you can see, reaction from previous weekly high here and here. And after seeing this movement to the downside and this strong move to the upside, usually is a pattern, as I said on Thursday probably, usually is a pattern that you want to look for sells after that, and probably we're gonna take this. I'm not sure, but it's relevant liquidity that took the previous weekly high and this. So yeah, let's see, but I expect something like that. Okay. So on M5, I was looking for sells after taking this to the left. My mistake here probably was to look for a sell here without relevant liquidity to the left. I took that sell that it was a stop loss because I saw this wick here, and well, I thought it would take that and all of this liquidity, but yeah, in the end it went to take this level liquidity on M5 here, both of them, and then I saw this SMT reaction here. I wanted to sell from here, but I didn't like these wicks, so first I saw this wick and I expected this to be taken. On M1 I was expecting that, but it took that, and I didn't enter. Okay, I didn't feel comfortable with seeing that the break wasn't really clear and everything. Yeah, I just had profit already, so I didn't want to enter and risk the profit that I had. Okay, but as you can see, it would be after seeing this week, it would have been a good trade. Okay. Yeah, we even had this break of structure on M1. As you can see here, we have buyers, so it needed to induce again, and then again having this high here, engulfing candle, and probably would have been a good trade. I even seen this, like I saw this week, and I expected to sell from higher, but yeah, didn't like those weeks. But probably would have been a good sell. Okay, but yeah, nothing for me. It's okay. I had profit already in another pair, so yeah, I didn't feel comfortable trading that. And then in the afternoon, five. In the afternoon, we had it took this previous daily low. It even took this relevant liquidity on M5 here from a few days ago. As you can see, um, perfectly reaction. So it took that. Let me see it on M1. Okay. So we had like some kind of movement here to break extractor. Then it took that with the strength, and then movement to the upside, breaking extractor again, and well, taking this liquidity and boom. So didn't really like it without even with this week, and then it took this round liquidity in 5, round liquidity in 5 and continuation, but nothing to trade for me here. GU, nothing. Okay, I didn't trade GU. I didn't like it. Here we have travel liquidity for me, probably. As you can see, this movement, I think we can see it on EU too. This movement to the downside, but yeah, not yet. Okay, so here we have travel liquidity. But we will see what happens. Okay, Monday, so previous weekly low, even. So yesterday tomorrow I can see, I can look at that. Okay. USD JPY. Okay, so on USD JPY, we took this previous weekly low. We took all this liquidity here, which, well, the relevant one was this one. This one, so you can see perfectly. We had these reactions here, meaning that here we had relevant liquidity, and then after having this movement to the upside, for me this was an SNT, as it was the relevant liquidity on H1 that created this movement to the downside and took the previous weekly low. So that's why for me this was an SNT, and this was a fake breakup structure, to say it in some way. And it even was relevant liquidity on M5. Okay, so after taking this with this week, I looked for buys on M1. So I know that this is not a breakup structure, I know it, but seeing this reaction for me meant that here we had sellers, that probably this took all the early buyers that entered here with a break even or whatever, and taking this meant for me that this was the round liquidity on M1. It just was something that I felt in that moment that you can explain, but I'm trying to explain it right now. So I thought that here we had sellers, we broke that, here some buyers are entering, and boom, we take this round liquidity on M1. For me, more or less relevant, because if you count that as a breakup structure and then engulfing candle entry, and my first target was up here. Okay, I wanted to leave a 10% to take this, but in that moment I thought, let's close it here, and I felt okay. I felt great with that, and well, my account was after the stop loss from Thursday or Wednesday, and after the stop loss, after the EU stop loss, my account was 1.6% down, and now is 1.1 up. Okay, so I did a 3%, 2.5 here, more or less. Then in the afternoon, I saw all these reactions. Here we have relevant liquidity on H1 too. As you can see, it was the one that broke the structure here. So for me, we have relevant liquidity, even seeing all these reactions. and I thought, well, I was at work, so I saw these wicks here, and I placed this trade here just to test it. And well, I think we would have taken break even and partials here, and probably 50% here with this trade 1 to 4. Um, but yeah, I didn't take this trade, okay? Just placed here. And after taking this here, it didn't take that. Okay, so we could probably take this round liquidity on 5 and then go to the upside, because this week for me, or it took, maybe here it took the break evens and then it's going to the upside. I don't know, but we have a lot of reactions here. So this was USD JPY, long video today. Okay, USD CHF. As you can see, previous weekly low, it's here this week. Reaction, reactions, reactions, reaction. Okay, so that's why it's so important, because it creates liquidity for all the week. Okay, so you can expect some reactions there. Maybe you can look for a trade here to sell, or some buys here after breaking it. So yeah, it's just some kind of support and resistance. Okay, so I was looking for a buy here. Look for a buy, but didn't take the relevant liquidity. Okay, so I was looking for a buy here. We had relevant liquidity on 5 and H1 BOS here, but it didn't take that. It took it here. Okay, so yeah, no buys for me here and no sells for me here. Okay, this was not relevant. So no sells for me here, as we didn't have nothing to, we had nothing to left. Probably maybe this relevant liquidity or this relevant liquidity, but yeah, nothing for me, and it took that later on. So I'm reacting here on the previous weekly low, but well, I'm not going to place it. But yeah, after taking all this liquidity, and this is even not around liquidity in each one, but it took the previous daily high. So yeah, I can expect maybe another take, or yeah, already a continuation. Okay, and finally USD CAD, more or less the same. We took this round liquidity on each one. Here, as you can see, we never needed to take this, because the low that broke the structure was this one. So that's why this is the round liquidity, because here they place all the liquidity that they can to break the structure, to break all the sellers that are here. Okay, so that's why it's so important understanding relevant liquidity. So it took that break of structure. Here I would expect another take, because they don't usually do it so clear, but seeing all these weeks, they probably know that sellers were entering, so yeah, they didn't care and they pushed up. Okay, so it took this round liquidity on M5 here, and boom, it went up. Yeah, so for me here, I looked for a sell. My mistake, as we had nothing to left really. I just looked for a sell because of these candles, but then I remembered that this candle with this wick usually is taken again. So I placed a trade here. As you can see, relevant liquidity on M5, relevant liquidity on M5. We had wicks here from sellers. So yeah, it was completely my mistake, but I even had a profit. As you can see, it took this round with M5, and I waited for the mitigation, engulfing candle. I entered here with a spread and everything, and yeah, and here I closed the trade. Okay, here I closed the trade as I was looking on M5 and didn't like it, and on M1, so I didn't like it. I didn't like my entry. I wasn't sure about my entry, So as it moved down, I closed here, like $50 or $60 profit, and I closed the trade and fuck it. And I wasn't sure about the buys, so I didn't enter, but as you can see, pretty clear buys. Breakup structure with sellers, and yeah. And even that my target was small because here we had rare liquidity. Yeah. We had here like breakup structure and then another engulfing candle, but yeah, mitigation. So my mistake. The correct candle would have been this one, as it's engulfing candle with the mitigation, stop loss down here, and well, yeah, as you can see, perfect trade. Perfect trade. And these candles are precious. Okay, so this means that sellers are entering, but they can't. They can't, and boom, and it explodes. And then I was at work. No, sorry, I was at my home in that moment. I didn't trade this because it was out of timing, but I liked the pattern. Okay, so I liked seeing all this liquidity created here with wicks, not taking this high. We had these wicks here with the previous weekly low, yeah, with the previous weekly low, so liquidity, and it took that with clean break. So I just placed a trade here, not traded, but I love it. Like I had a lot of conviction here, and even that with that I didn't trade that. Okay, so because the engulfing candles, you can see it never took the both of them. Well, the entire candle, so probably the trade would have been like this. But I placed it right here, and then boom, it moved to the upside. So yeah, fuck me. Not fuck me because I respected my rules, but a trade that I would take a lot of times, okay? And then it moved to the upside, it broke here. I thought about looking for sells here, and I even placed a trade here, but I thought probably it would have been a break even, and I didn't like it, so I eliminated it, okay? So, well, this was my Friday, long video, but interesting. I hope you like it, and well, see you tomorrow, Monday. Bye bye.